Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhu, how are you? And Linda,
Govinda, Govinda, Govinda.
wait for you. So happy you're here. Goinda, Goinda, we can hear, but we cannot see.
I know, because I'm trying to. I'm going to be a bit dark today, it seems.
Oh,
Oh, well, not so dark.
no,
Just
that's
be,
perfect. That's perfect.
well, not perfect. Just, what's that? Oh, it's the window. Okay. I've just settled in. The flight was late. I got into
Oh,
London, and now it's early in the morning.
wow. Sorry, madam.
It's all good. These things happen. Jai Vrindavaneshri Devirasi. Good evening. Late evening.
Good evening. Dandavat Pranam, Gurudev.
Dandavat, Dandavat. Happily with you. And Dana in Florida, not so late, but a little late, I think an hour earlier. And Ajita Krishna in the USA, Dandavat Prabhu, and Rupanuga Prabhu beside a eucalyptus tree, perhaps. No, a telegraph pole. Yes, electric line pole. All right. All right, and here I am. I'm in London, but you wouldn't know it necessarily.
We follow you, Maharaj. We know where you are.
So you know where I've been?
You cannot hide.
Maybe can. Do you know where we've been or not? No.
No, no, Maharaj. No.
Right. Well, it's our secret. But we were 13 devotees. We had a little expedition to the Alps. So came back
Very nice.
came back down yesterday and then went straight to the airport and came here.
Nice.
All right, let us begin. And somebody joined us just now. Oh, Preetu Prabhu.
Ritu Prabhu.
Oh, Preetu, good to know. And I'm thinking of you, Preetu, in a good way, of course. No other way to think of Preetu. And there, it's also a little early, but not too early. 4, 5, 6, maybe 6 a.m. Okay, dear devotees, let's begin. We are here, and I quite possibly others will join us. Yes, Dana, Hare Krishna. So, Hare Krishna, and we'll begin with Vandanam and then continue. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuttapada Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Savrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajiva Sarvetam Savarutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Deva Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitanscha Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuran Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. And today we can also say to our Guru Vaga, Guru Bhabista Supurakam Guru Ganaya Shisha Shambhushitam Chintya Chintya Samastveda Nipunam Shri Rupa Pantanaka Govinda Vidhamujvalam Varatanam Bhaktyam Vitam Sundaram Vande Vishva Gurung Chadipya Bhagavat Prem Nohi Bija Kara Devam Divyatanam Sachandavadanam Balaka Chalantritam Sanjananda Param Sadekavaranam Vairagya Vidyam Buddhim Shri Sirantanidim Subhatyalasitam Sarasvatanambaram Vande Tam Shubhadam Madakesharanam Yashishwaram Sridharam Shri Siddhanta Saraswati Iti Vidito Gaudiya Gurvan Vaye Bhato Bhanuriva Prabhata Gagane Yogaura Sankirtanahi Mayavada Timingilo Daragatan Udritya Jivaniman Krishna Prema Sudabde Gahana Sukam Kadash Prabhum Tang Bhaje. Namo Gora Kishoraya Bhakta Virutta Murtaye Gaurangi Padma Bringaya Radha Bhavan Shevane Vande Bhakti Vinodhanam Shri Gaura Shakti Swarupakam Bhakti Shastra Samrajam Radha Rasa Sudaniti Gaura Vraja Shita Sheshai Vaishnaver Vande Vigraham Jagannatha Prabhum Vande Pimavim Vriddha Vaishnav Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitan Bhavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda. And we can also chant Srila Prabhupada's Pranam Mantra composed by Srila Guru Maharaj. This mantra, Nama Om Vishnu Paraya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Swami Shri Bhaktivedanta Prabhupadaya Te Namaha Guru Vagyam Shirasi Dritva Shaktivesha Sarupine Hare Krishna Iti Mantrena Paschatya Prachyatarine Vishvacharya Prabharyaya Dibya Karunya Murtaye Shri Bhagavata Madhuja Gita Jnana Pradayane Gaura Shri Rupa Siddhanta Saraswati Nishevane Radha Krishna Parambhoja Bringaya Gurave Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivas Adi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. All right, good morning world, good evening world. Jayadev Prabhu and Jivana joined us in the last few minutes, and Priyanana Devirasi and Lucas, Hare Krishna. Welcome back.
And the representation from Thailand, Maharaj.
We do?
Yes, we do.
Paramananda Prabhu. Oh, good, Paramananda. I'm happy to see, I'm very happy to see all of you. But I'm happy to see Jivana Devidasi and I'm happy to see Paramananda Prabhu because I expect they're going to give us some wonderful Harikatha this morning or this evening as we are listening. And Jivana, we missed her last week. Not last week, but I mean a few days ago. And we were thinking that Jivana was doing some homework because she knows that we were going to ask her this week because we missed the last time. And Paramananda Prabhu, when we came last time to call for Paramananda, he'd gone on his busy business. He was busy somewhere. He was there at the beginning. So we hope that he's not going to be too busy to share some things with us today. So first of all, we can begin by saying, it's wonderful to be with you all. And I suppose I could turn on Facebook if I thought about it. And then those who are on Facebook with us too, we're happy to have you with us, of course, as well as all of those who are in the recorded version. And we know you're there because some of you do tell us. And so happily, we're with you all. So Praneshwari is our MC. And I think she might be going to invite Jivana Devidasi, who's highlighted already, I see.
Yes, she's already there.
Are you all prepared, Jivana? Or should we give you a little time to gather some thoughts?
I'm never prepared, and Paramananda Prabhu, he's eternally prepared. I don't know how you guys do it, but anyway, did come across a few things. One thing that is something that Sudevika sent me, which just a little something that she sends things quite frequently, just little things she finds online of Gurudev, Guru Maharaj, or Srila Prabhupada.
And Sudevika is with us also. No,
oh, this is Sudevika from Hawaii. Yeah, different Sudevika.
Sudevika from Hawaii. But Sudevi is with us. I somehow missed her. And Deva Priya.
She's here.
Deva Priya, Haribo.
Also from San Jose, your San Jose department. California is well represented today. Actually, America is well represented. Sorry, please excuse me for interrupting. But Sudevi from Australia, welcome.
Yes.
And
wonderful.
David,
Yeah, she's been coming quite frequently. Sudevi, I think, right?
Yes.
Very nice, very nice. So nice to see. So this is just one little thing that Sudevika from Hawaii had sent me from Srila Prabhupada, where it's just a little thing. He says, always chant. And for some reason, it's so simple, but it's so sublime. So always chant Hare Krishna mantra. Be in touch with Krishna in so many ways. Then you are secure. Maya will not be able to touch you. And if we can some way or other pass our days, and at the time of death, if we remember Krishna, then our whole life is successful. Because I know we talk a lot about how important it is to chant Hare Krishna and how it's basis of so many things. We have so many beautiful examples and the Shikshastakam, so many things. So this was nice to hear that. Just one little simple thing. But what else did I have for homework? The other homework I have is from, something from the Hidden Treasure of the Holy Dham Navadvip by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, which I know we read quite a while ago and went through. But I happened to note this one couple of paragraphs. If that's okay, I will read that one. So this is from Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur from the Hidden Treasure of the Holy Dham Navadvip. That one may worship Krishna lifetime after lifetime and never achieve divine love of Krishna, Krishna Prema. This is because in the course of one's worship, he is sure to commit many sins and offenses. And one who chants the holy name of Krishna can achieve the ecstasy of divine love only if he chants without any offenses. The worship of Sri Chaitanya, however, is much different. By worshiping Sri Chaitanya, even a soul plagued by offenses attains the treasure of love of Godhead. As soon as one cries out, Nitai Chaitanya, divine love of Godhead begins searching him out. Even offenses cannot block his progress, and soon he sheds tears of ecstasy and divine love. By the mercy of Sri Chaitanya, offenses soon disappear, and the heart is cleansed and filled with divine love. No one can live in the present age of Kali Yuga without committing innumerable sins. Therefore, no one can be delivered without calling on the name of Sri Chaitanya. And so I see no other way for deliverance in this age of Kali than to chant the name of Sri Chaitanya, worship Sri Chaitanya, and follow Sri Chaitanya's teachings. And so one time someone did ask Srila Prabhupada, then why are we chanting Hare Krishna? Why do we not just chant Lord Chaitanya's name and Lord Nityananda's name? And Srila Prabhupada said, I'm sure Gurudev has also repeated this also, is that the reason we chant Hare Krishna is because Mahaprabhu told us to chant Hare Krishna, and our Guru has given us entrance into that. So we're very fortunate to have encountered that this lifetime.
And we have been in the association of a very, all the devotees are fortunately named, but very fortunately named Dayal Netai Prabhu from Brazil.
Beautiful.
Yes, and so we've been with him, and we also have been singing, perhaps inspired by his presence, to Dayal Nitai Chaitanya Bole Natraya Marvan. And in that translation too is this emphasis that by the chanting the holy name, then we will become offenseless if we will take the name of Nitai and Gauranga, call for the mercy of Nitai and Gauranga. And when we become offenseless, then we will be able to chant Krishna. I mean, we'll be able to then chant Krishna's name offenselessly, and then we will enter into Vrindavan. Sheshe Vrindavan. This at the end. At the end, we'll come to Vrindavan. So we've been in good company. Vrindavaneshwari, Dedi must have met him. He's our Korean Brazilian who we were with in Campos de Jordão at the festival. And he's here. Well, actually, I'm not here anymore. I'm not here. I'm in London, but my mind's still in Italy. And we've been together in Italy with him, Patricia, and other devotees. Well, other devotees, Achintya Krishna Prabhu from Ukraine, who's done so much seva there. And he's also there in Bila Govinda Ashram. And so we've had actually quite a strong few days of association with each of them and the other devotees these last few days in Italy, and then I've come here. But Dayal Nitai Prabhu, what a fortunate name, because we tend to almost burst into song just to say yes, wonderful quote, Stephen Adin. And that book, you see now it's already a few months after Gaurupanima, but that book of Navadip Dham Mahatmya and the hidden treasure of Navadip Dham, which is like the colloquial form of the book, which is very close to the non-colloquial, I mean, to the actual word by word book. Then we think, oh, it's a long time since we read it. But that book, whenever we read, then we feel everything is in that one book. And it's so important for us. And I was there when Srila Guru Maharaj was asked why we don't chant the names. Oh no, he's asked, can we chant the names of Mahaprabhu on our Japamala? This was the question. And the Panchatattva, because this was perhaps not exactly in relation to this quote, but it was in relation to the Panchatattva Mahamantra, because Guru Maharaj explains how in the Panchatattva Mahamantra there are no questions of offenses. So can we chant this on the Japamala? Or why don't we, can we chant it on the Japamala? And Srila Guru Maharaj said, no, we will chant what has been given to us by our Guru in the process that's been given to us by our Guru. So the mantra that we are receiving is the Maha Mantra for Kali Yuga, which is the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And the Panchatattva Mahamantra, we will chant, but in the way that has been given by our Guru Bhaga. So this is a reply which came when we were there, right, with Srila Guru Maharaj. So this is another thought on that. Hare Krishna. And in the later, we know, devotees mainly know the later pastime when Srila Guru Maharaj was with us in the world. Now he would chant a lot, like Dayal Nitai, in this way. And before that, sometimes he would say Dayal Nitai just as in, other expressions which may come out of the Lord's name. But the later time, very prominently Dayal Nitai. And in the beginning, it was a little difficult when we heard devotees. It first kind of popped up at the end of Guru Maharaj's arati. After Srila Guru Maharaj's disappearance, then we would do arati, naturally, at his Samadhi Mandir in Navadip. And that time, of course, the Samadhi Mandir was super small, just a simple, the ground was mud, but the rest was the bamboo, and then that simple like reed matting. I'm not exactly sure what it's made of. Maybe even bamboo matting, shredded bamboo matting. But it was very simple with a thatched roof on the top. And their devotees started to sing at the end of Guru Maharaj's Arati, Dayal Nitai, Dayal Nitai. And we've become accustomed to it. But it seemed a little private at that time. A little private, because only we heard Guru Maharaj like chanting in such a way, like continually Dayamithai, and then devotees were singing it. But it was senior devotees. Then gradually we sort of became a little accustomed to it. But that, a private mood, still I feel when we hear the Dayamithai being chanted. Before, nobody was chanting like that. I mean, in our mat, it was not happening like that. Hare Krishna. Yes, Stephen. And, or when we go collecting in Calcutta, asking for donations, or for the temple, of course, then you give all your spiel, tell the person, tell them, like the man behind the desk, this is what we're doing, we're collecting donations, etc. Then common reply was, and another common long reply was, then give us some money, please, for Krishna's sake. Hare Krishna. Sudevi, Dandavat Pranam Maharaj, and dear devotees, Dandavat. I have a question that you or maybe Jivana or Paramananda, no, she says that you or maybe Paramananda Prabhu can help me with. What is pratiṣṭhā and how to navigate the varying layers in which it manifests? Well, now there's a question very relevant to practical life.
Very good.
So Jivana, should we pass this over to Paramananda Prabhu? Okay, Paramananda Prabhu, are you with us? Yes.
Well, yes, Maharaj, but I would like to pass it back to Jivana for a few minutes, hear her, and then I will continue with your blessings.
Well, with my agreement, at least, I don't. You know, I don't even have a pocket right now, so I don't have even anything in my pocket. What to speak with blessings? Jivanadi, we would like to hear a few words, but Paramananda also.
That is a super excellent and extremely deep and involved question. So we'll just say one brief thing that one time when Yudhamani Prabhu was with Gurudev, he was sitting with him in his room, just casual, and there was just the two of them, just maybe Gurudev was reading something or something. And then Gurudev looked up out of the blue and he looked at Yudha and he said, Pratishta will chase you. You have to run away from it. So Gurudev always would say how dangerous Pratishta can be. It has to be utilized only for the service of Gurudev. And even one time someone was saying how difficult it is to give up different kinds of intoxication, and this person was having so much trouble with that. And Gurudev said, well, yes, that's, and you Paramananda will remember this better, but something to the effect that, yes, it is difficult, but it's nothing compared to Pratishṭhā. Pratishṭhā is the most difficult to abandon in our conditioned life. And so...
Even just mention what is Pratishṭhā, because there may be one or two here who don't know the word, the meaning.
Okay. Yeah, it's the desire for name and fame, the desire to be known as something great by others. Maybe you might be feeling like, well, I'm kind of humble, but really you're kind of always hoping for others to acknowledge you and recognize you, and also recognize the fact that you're a unique individual amongst everyone, and you can kind of feel that way. And if there's a lot of praise comes your way, sometimes in Paramananda Prabhu, you can give more context to this, but sometimes it's even said if somebody praises you too much, it's actually, they're not really a friend to do that to you. It's not a very good situation for you. So, but that's for just a name and fame, desire for name and fame. And there's probably a lot more, but that at least is something.
And how to navigate the varying layers in which it manifests.
That is definitely, we're sending that one to Paramananda Prabhu. That's a good question.
You mean you wanna hear a failed example? How I didn't navigate it? Bad examples are always, actually they're good examples. So at least you know what you shouldn't do. Like one time, I think Praneshwar did ask me how to react on something if we're in the Dham and we're seeing something inappropriate. Well, how should we react on that? Shouldn't we get upset, all upset about it, wanted to correct it? And really, that was an interesting question. I never thought about it. But then, since we're always remembering how we should always look positive on every situation in life, derive some kind of a lesson out of it, understand why Krishna, Gurudev's words, why Krishna wants me to see it and why he wants me to hear it. And the answer could be to see what you shouldn't do, an example of what you shouldn't follow. That could be a good take on it. And that Krishna is shoving it to you for your own education. And he's using these people for that purpose. And then you're not going to project anything negative on those people. You'll think, oh, Krishna is so merciful. He's showing me how not to do things. Well, he's showing me a lot of how not to do things. And I'm also showing people even more how not to do things by doing wrong things. But something in that connection. And I remember that, actually. I heard it from Yudhamani Prabhu himself when he told me, Srila Govinda Maharaj actually revealed to him about pratiṣṭhā. And Gurudev continuously spoke about the dangers of pratiṣṭhā, and other Vaishnavacharyas always saying. And pratiṣṭhā, in other translations, establishment. Like sometimes we say deity pratiṣṭhā, means we're installing the deity. We're letting everyone know that here is the deity, here the Lord, he comes. Here, everybody, look, we're establishing him here. So when we put ourselves in the center, then it becomes self-establishment. So it can be also represented as a self-establishment. We're trying to put ourselves in the center of universe. But as aspiring devotees, we're trying to do the opposite. We want Krishna and his devotees to be in the center of the universe. And we're peripheral position, always ready to serve, always ready to supply what is necessary. So one way to control that is to try to put the Lord's interest and the Lord's devotees' interest in the center of your life. Sacrifice. Govinda Maharaj said one time. I think that Krishna Priya, she said, oh, Govinda Maharaj, so difficult for me to be here with so many devotees. He asked her once, and she is very sincere. She's not hiding anything. He said, oh, yes, I understand. So what are you feeling? And Krishna said, I'm sacrificing so much of my life and I don't even know why. And Gurudev was laughing about it. So, I know why, and I know where this inspiration is coming from. And it is very good for you. I'm very happy to hear that. So another story comes to mind is when one Srila Swami Maharaj, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, disciple approached him and started in a very repentive mood, started saying, oh, Maharaj, I'm so fallen. I'm out of all the people, out of your disciples, I'm the most fallen. There is no more fallen person than myself. And Swami Maharaj looked at him and said, no, you're not fallen. You're certainly not most fallen. You're simply insignificant. That was the answer. And really, that also puts you in a certain prospect to think about yourself. Who are you? You're just a tiny speck of Krishna's rays, infinitely less than him, but happen to be of the similar nature. I can say same nature in a fully realized form. So Vaishnava pratiṣṭhā is something that is, if we are engaged in seva, the Vaishnava pratiṣṭhā will always come. A good example is Madhavendra Puri. And Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is mentioning that there's nothing you can do about it. There's absolutely nothing you can do because Krishna is so eager to glorify his devotee. So his fame will spread immediately. There was no internet, no telegraph, no telephone. How is that possible? By the time when Madhavendra Puri, in a haste, he left Rimuna and went to Jagannath Puri, the Puri town. in order to avoid that very thing, the pratiṣṭhā. But by the time he arrived, he was very quick. He wanted to run from it. And when he arrived, everybody already knew. So that was Krishna. But then that was Vaishnava pratiṣṭhā, because Madhavendra Puri is the Vaishnava. So one way is to deal with that, is to become a Vaishnava, become a real devotee. Then if something comes to you, you will have a very clear realization. There's nothing yours. And if there's anything good in you, it must have come from your guardian, from the Vaishnavas around you, from your spiritual master, from the Lord himself. He's very merciful. When we preach sometime it flows and sometimes it doesn't. But when it flows and sometimes you are overwhelmed by what is coming from you. And then at the end of the talk, you understand that wasn't me. Clearly, that wasn't me, because I'm feeling all fired up and inspired by what I'm saying, but it wasn't me. That clear understanding comes to us. And then we realize we've been used for the service by someone who is more expert in that. Really, and that's what Srila Govinda Maharaj pointed out. And that also diminishes your pratiṣṭhā, that pride that we have. Oh, we are the doers, we have the ability, we have the influence, we have devotion, all of that. We're doing seva. When we were just sitting, and then he looking at me, and then he said, "Oh, Prabhu, I used you." I told that story many times. And then he looked at me, and my mind was going crazy. Really, in the first few moments, I was like, what? And then he said, Prabhu, I used everyone. I used them. He repeated 3 times. I used them in the service to Guru Maharaj. And then after a pause, he said, and that is your good fortune. And when you hear something like that, it's also very harmonizing. Then you understand, oh, this is our position. If we are possessing anything, that must have come from him. So in order that he can use us, so he's giving us the talents, he's supplying what we need. Like Krishna is saying, if you need something for your devotion, the yoga kshemam vahamaham, then I will give it to you. Whatever is lacking, I will supply it to you. You don't have to worry, just be a devotee. Manmana bhavaman bhakto, just be my devotee, surrender to me, serve me, be with me, make me happy by doing things you are not so happy to do, like in case of Arjuna and so many others. And I will give you everything. And then there will be no question of pratiṣṭhā. But since we are conditioned souls and we like to put ourselves in the center of our life, and not just our life, in the center of the universe, for God's sake, at least the universe we can conceive of, because our puppy brain, my puppy brain, excuse me, are unable to even conceive the size of the universe. I don't think we can go further than Mars, because we saw it so many times, some articles on CNN and BBC News, and maybe some documental movies, and that's how far we can go. We don't even understand what the universe is, but we can, we can imagine. So we put ourselves in the center of conceivable universe for ourselves, and that's the problem. As soon as you remove yourself, put Krishna and his devotees in the center, then everything is adjusted, perfectly harmonized. But that means to be a devotee, and the devotee from the capital letter. So still, for me, way to go. And for me, how to harmonize that? Anything usable, anything sensible coming out of me must have come from Govinda Maharaj. And when we're reading Revealed Truth, which is essentially Govinda Maharaj's words, sometimes I say something and I never prepare myself. I just open the book and we just read every week. And then something comes out of me, and then later on it is confirmed by Srila Govinda Maharaj in exact words. And then it also reminds me that this is not mine. I'm just transmitting something coming from him, what I heard from him. And that is also helping to understand that without him, without the Vaishnavas, I'm not so much valued. But they can use me, they can pull the strings. And that's what Swami Maharaj prays in his poem when he's approaching America on a Jaladuta ship. And he's saying, oh Krishna, you make me dance, make me dance, make me dance. Oh Lord, make me dance, according to your wish. Really, that is the prayer. And that's what we all should aspire for. Then pratiṣṭhā will be solved. The question of pratiṣṭhā. All right.
Right. beautiful Paramananda and beautiful examples. And also Srila Guru Maharaj saying how Krishna, he doesn't tolerate any pride in his devotees. So, you know, we should keep that in mind. So if any pratiṣṭhā feeling comes to somebody, then keep these words in mind, because we're going to get a little reset along the way. So many stories of Krishna removing the pride of his devotees. So that also helps keep us little grounded, and other aspects too. I mean, amongst the devotees, then we may feel, oh, we're getting some pratiṣṭhā in our closed circle or something. But I mean, just walk outside the door and you find some people will always be ready to point out the opposite of pratiṣṭhā, if you like, when we're in the public field, what they think of devotees of this, that, and the other. So we're always getting some challenges from the environment. But here also Pranashri did, she's selected from Sermons Volume 3 of Srila Guru Maharaj, also some words from Srila Guru Maharaj. And by the way, Sudevi is saying thank you to Jivana for her view on pratiṣṭhā just now, and I'm sure she's saying thank you to Paramananda. She maybe is further down, but I'm here. And if you like, I'll read this excerpt from Srila Guru Maharaj, because actually, I have to say, my joy in life is to read. One of the joys in life, but a joy of my life is to read the words of Guru Maharaj, Gurudev, Srila Prabhupada, Saraswati Thakur, Navadip Mahatmya, as we mentioned just a little bit before. All of these readings, then our voice actually is being used to say something very substantial. So here's Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Sriram. Well, first of all, devotee. How can we detect pratiṣṭhā within ourselves? Srila Guru Maharaj then says, it's going to make it bigger, okay? So how do we detect pratiṣṭhā within ourselves? That comes with the development of internal perfection and our continuous thankfulness to Gurudev. It is necessary to understand and feel that everything comes from above. So to understand and feel that everything comes from above. That I have nothing, I have no position, and therefore my present situation always depends on the mercy of my Gurudev. It may be withdrawn from me at any moment. Whatever I may have is not a fixed thing in me. It is not a matter of right, but it is only extended grace in me. The moment it is withdrawn, I am nowhere. It is all Krishna's Swarup Shakti. It is all Krishna's Swarup Shakti. I am pratiṣṭhā Shakti, and I have no capital. I am working on the capital of my master. I have no capital of my own. So all that is how we should be thinking. And Srila Guru Maharaj continuing. We must be able to remain on such a plane of thinking and realize that without his help, without his grace, means of my master, I am in darkness. My fate is dark. As long as he extends his grace in me, I can see. If the light is withdrawn, the eye is helpless. Then Srila Guru Maharaj continuing. We are to realize the position that it is not our birthright. By our birth, we are pratiṣṭhā Shakti, the marginal potency. And whatever we have found, it is the gracious extension of Swarup Shakti in us. Our Guru and the Vaishnavas are the proprietors, the owners. It is their wealth and property. It all belongs to them. Hare Krishna. And I see that there's also a quote from Srila Gurudev. just before I read Srila Gurudev's quote, I haven't quite glanced at it yet, but I was reminded, and why I thought of him recently, I don't know, but I have thought of him. We had some, some good contacts. We had a good contact actually in the customs of Calcutta, a senior customs officer. And good contact means for a genuine purpose, we got a donation from Singapore, from a businessman who wanted to send clothing. He had this idea that, the idea of naturally of doing good for others, and he wanted to send clothing to a charity in India. So, in the winter in Bengal, it gets cold, and we ourselves have been sent by Srila Guru Maharaj to go collecting winter wear, warm clothing, in the months of like September, October, to go collecting in Calcutta for winter wear. So we mentioned to this person, well, you can send your donation of clothing to Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Math, to Guru Maharaj. At that time, Srila Guru Maharaj is directly with us also. And anyhow, he sent some bales, like 1 meter by 1 meter by 1 meter, bales of clothing, not only, a few sweaters and t-shirts and socks and things like this. And generously he sent these bales. But the customs in Calcutta, they just can't believe it's a donation for the temple. And anyway, all the customs officers giving so much difficulty. And then by the soft heart and genuine nature of Sripad Bhakti Prapanatita Maharaj, who at that time was Prapana Krishna, then he anyway persevered to follow this through, and then he met maybe the most senior, I think, well, the most senior officer of the port at that time, at least. He met that senior officer, and he had, being the head of customs, you do have quite a bit of influence, no doubt. Anyway, he came and met Gurudev, and he came and he really saw this is all genuine, and all the goods, they came through and they were properly distributed, etc. But he was a powerful person. You can understand he was a powerful person. And then I saw him, so I knew him for so many years. He would come to the temple. He became Gurudev's disciple or not. Maybe didn't officially receive initiation. But then I saw him later on, means after Srila Gurudev disappeared, because he had some pull and we thought that he could give some assistance. But what a completely different person after he'd retired and become old, not getting any honor from anywhere. And so it was an example how somebody even in the regular world can be like very influential. But then later in his life, and he said to me, now, I have no power, nobody will listen to me, I can't do anything. And his health was down, and all these things. So there is like a physical reminder in the material world, how all of this pratiṣṭhā, everything comes and goes, it's all fragile. And then what to speak, we see in the Vaishnava realm also. We've seen great devotees who've done much, suddenly fall from grace and so many things happen, and then anything can happen. Pride comes before a fall is an English expression. So to keep in mind these things in the world. But of course, Srila Guru Maharaj's advice that it's all in Vaishnava circles, actual pratiṣṭhā in the Vaishnava circle is all by the grace, anything we have, by the grace of our Guru, our Master. And there is here from Paneshri, but let someone else read this quote, not only my voice to come through. And who do you volunteer? Paneshri, yourself perhaps.
We have her already on the spot, Jivana Didi.
Oh, Jivana, yes, please, you're spotlighted. Please read the quote from Revealed Truth, the waves of birth and death of this chapter. does come up very commonly, doesn't it? We seem to keep on
You guys
coming back to this.
You will be tired of hearing from me. We have
Never.
it's a, totally. Okay, let me see if I can find it.
First of all, the headline is miraculous news. So there's the headline of the chat. So it must be a subheader within the waves of birth and death. So miraculous news.
Okay. Miraculous news. So this is from Srila Bhaktisindar Govindadev Goswami Maharaj, Revealed Truth, which is just the most amazing. The waves of birth and death. Miraculous news. In the Mahabharata, Dharmaraj asked Yudhishthira Maharaj, what is the news in this world? Yudhishthira Maharaj replied, maybe Maharaj, you want to read the Sanskrit?
Well, I can read it if I make it bigger. Masatu darvi parighatnena suryagnena ratri divendhamnena asmin mahamoha maye kattahe bhutani kala pachatiti vartam. Yes, Sanskrit always a little tricky.
So this is from the Mahabharata, Vana Parva. And oh my goodness, this is such an intense quote. The news of this world is that the conditioned jiva souls are being cooked by Mahakali, universal time, in the pot of worldly illusion, which is heated by the fire of the sun and burns on the firewood of the days and nights. The pot is stirred by the ladles of the months and seasons, and within the pot, the jiva souls are suffering so much, covered with the masala, flavoring of kama, lust, krodha, anger, lobha, greed, mada, pride, moha, illusion, matsarya, envy, and the desires for kanik, wealth, kamini, women, and pratishṭhā, fame. This is the only news in this world. Wow.
So that was the news that was on the TV in the airport lounge. The only news of the world. Mahakal, the great time, cooking us.
Wow.
Hare Krishna. Yes, dear devotees.
Wow. That is intense.
And in the meantime, Prafula Krishna will join us. Jayadev Prabhu, Gangarev Devidasi, they joined us. Indulekha joined us. Sevarupa joined us. Alya joined us. Govinda, Govinda. Yes, dear devotees. Hare Krishna. I just glanced at my messages, which I haven't seen for several hours. So there are some messages. So, Hare Krishna. Any contribution from anyone on the theme of pratiṣṭhā? And
yes, Maharaj, there is an extra contribution from our dear Paramananda Prabhu. Just let me post it. Yes, a very good one, a very good one.
I know that Srila Goswami Maharaj, he has a quote which says how name and fame is like stool. And you've heard this, Praneshri, and actually most of you probably heard this because in a not so long ago broadcast, and Maharaj was emphasizing the pratiṣṭhā is like stool, and he's quoting something from the Sanskrit, and not just any
one, Maharaj.
It's
That's the one. He's quoting Saraswati Thakur, one of the verses from Vaishnava K.
And not just any stool, but pig stool.
Shukariyara Vishta.
Okay, Paramanandu, please, you expand on this on the subject matter. From Srila Bhaktisiddhanta
quite extensively. No problem for me to touch that subject, but anything higher than that, Maharaj, is a little bit difficult.
But Praneshi, did you put the quote in the box?
Yes, I'm just going to insert it, Maharaj. It was a little bit long because the song is very long.
The whole song, it's a prayer actually, and Saraswati Thakur he's actually talking to his mind. He's preaching to his mind. This is the form of this prayer, and he's touching on that subject continuously. Vaishnava care. Who is the Vaishnava? And then he quotes so many verses, beautiful verses, questioning your mind. Do you think you are a Vaishnava? This is what you do? You think you're doing it as a service? There's so many wonderful things. I mean, really, you have to read it, but there's one, I think it's number 4, the verse. And the translation will be, my dear mind, beware of your desires to attain material reputation. It is misleading you with its attractive vision like an oasis of green trees. But it is simply a mirage in the desert of this world of repeated birth and death. It will cause you utter spiritual destruction. Remember how Ravana, the powerful demon, was bewildered due to false pride. And in spite of all his efforts to achieve temporary material prominence, he was destroyed by Raghava, Lord Ramachandra. The only position you should desire is to become a true Vaishnava, a pure devotee of the Lord. Give all your care and attention for obtaining this. If instead you neglect to purely worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead due to your offenses, for all your hard endeavors, your life will simply be hellish. And there are many verses like that. Just one of them. So if anyone wants to read more about this subject, Vaishnava K by Saraswati Thakur. And Jivan, we have a bird behind you. It's a message, it's a sign.
Yeah, that's Big Bird. He's actually 23 years old, if you can imagine that.
No.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he doesn't look a day over 3.
Well, I wanted to say that you and so many devotees I'm observing, that almost having aprakrita deha, not material bodies, because they don't really change. They feel the same. There may be some external changes, but they feel the same all the time. Just my feeling about it.
And I do see we have some messages, obeisances, etc. on, not only etc., sorry, obeisances and kind words on Facebook from the devotees. And Nadia Priyadevirasi from Govinda land in Ukraine is also sending her obeisances to all the devotees. And we've been very much thinking of Govinda land with Achinta Krishnabhu's presence in Vila Govinda. And Achinta Krishna is a man, and he's just had this kind of window of opportunity to come out from Ukraine, and he's very intense example of appreciating freedom and appreciating this Krishna consciousness, which is like everything, and to meet a devotee is good. That's what I can mention. To meet a devotee is good. And Achinta Krishna, he's very like a devoted person, and he built up Govinda land from no wiring, no plumbing, no anything, no toilets, which everything had been stolen, and he built it up to very presentable place for the devotees to come to. And he's now got that opportunity, and he's been with us, and we are remembering Govinda land. Nadia Priyashi is there in Govinda land now, along with about 50 others, by the way. There's a lot of devotees there taking shelter. And Mathurvasini Devirasi, Madhava Prabhu, Tonga Rasa Devirasi. Soon coming here to London, I heard just yesterday evening, or hour yesterday evening. And Jagamohini Devirasi, all are sending obeisances and all are sending flowers, and I don't know what that is. Wonderful things, I'm sure they're sending. What is that? 1, 2, 3. Oh, a bee. A bee from Jagamohini. A bee from Jagamohini. Hare Krishna. Pritu Prabhu, if you can hear me, please check your WhatsApp. I sent you a message just now. If it is possible, that would be helpful. Hare Krishna. Okay, we can come back to our previous remembrance of Calcutta. And with the one word. Seva Rupa Devarasi wants to say something. I can see it.
I just would like to give my Dandavat pranams to everybody, and so grateful to be in your association. And what a beautiful question. So much reflection to do. I just find that on this path, by the grace of everybody, I think I said to a devotee before coming on this path, I generally thought I was a good person. But coming on this path, I realized, oh, there's so much work to do. And at every talk, every highlight, it's just like, oh, yeah, am I ever going to get there? But I'm so grateful. And my Dandavat pranams.
Hare Krishna. And I think today we should take the opportunity of Deva Priya's presence with us. If Deva Priya, would you, you're a very good preacher and presenter of clear thoughts on devotional life. We'd like to invite you to say a few words.
Mars, thank you for your encouragement. I'm just a good listener today. Dandavat to all.
Oh my goodness. I couldn't draw out a few words from Deva Priya.
No, I'm just happy to be here. As Didi said, it's just enough right now.
Okay, I have drawn out a few words, and actually I'm a happy listener and I do listen. And we've been walking and talking and walking and listening over the past couple of days. And I marveled again at our modern technology where we can hear the words of Guru Maharaj and Gurudev. And we can hear like directly they're talking. It is amazing not to underestimate headphones and your mobile phone in its proper use. And as we're doing now, with computers and mobile phones in their proper use. It's a miracle we can hear Guru Maharaj giving. And to be happy to listen, we also can take that as the grace of Guru, because many may not be happy to listen. I mean, if you know what I mean. And we know ourselves sometimes. It's difficult for us to concentrate. We have to stop, think, and then listen again. Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, I remember you, I always remember you always like to carry your iPad, and you were saying the miracle of this technology that we have, and look, like I'm holding all the library in my palm, right in my iPad, right there, like all the tons and tons of books any library can hold.
And it is true. And we do have to remind ourselves. So thanks, Deva Priya, yes. And we do have to keep reminding ourselves. I mean, reminding. We have to keep on permanently putting in our mind. But we do appreciate, and sometimes we're completely carried away by the hearing, and of course this opportunity to read. And really, coming from Navadip, so many years ago now, but it doesn't seem so long ago, then we had just a few books available digitally, but out of like that separation from the book cabinet that we kept with all the books inside, where we could go and refer to books, out of separation from the books in Navadip, then we tried to bring together as many of the books in digital form as possible. And now we have most. And for the benefit of everyone. And we've given these, it's not just my library, we've shared this with many devotees and keep sharing with the devotees, both the video, the books, the videos, the audios. We want devotees to have them. Hare Krishna. And Sudev is saying, I have to go to an appointment. My gratitude to all the very supportive illuminations down the road. Oh yes, Sudevi, we are all busy in this world. Indeed. Oh, look at that, 4 o'clock in the morning. Our clocks are going around very fast. Okay, just brief news. I've come to London and they're having a festival, not this weekend, but next weekend. And I did tell them that, okay, I'll come for the week, I'll come for a long weekend. And then they sent me a ticket for 2 weekends. So I suppose that becomes a long weekend. So I'm gently stolen. And by the way, okay, dear Saraswati Devidasi, the manager of the London Temple, she is always inviting for Munindra Mohan and Krishna Kanto, who I think everyone knows, the very kind managers of the, 2 of the very kind managers of Vila Govinda Ashram. They're always inviting them to come for the festivals. And they're always saying, yes, when we can, when we can. Well, what she did this time was she sent them the tickets to come for the festival. So now they are going to come. And Munindra, I didn't know that it happened this way. And then Munindra driving me to the airport yesterday afternoon or evening, Munindra driving me, and he said, well, I'm going to send her the money. We're not going to take her money for the tickets, but she knows how to catch us. So Saraswati, she's a little tricky, you see, tricky in devotional service. So now Munindra and Krishna Kanta are going to come, but for the actual weekend. They presumably didn't say, well, we can come for a long weekend. Now I have to know how to word my next time. I can come for 1 weekend, I have to say next time. She said, well, how long? Okay, long weekend, 2 weeks. All right, dear devotees, the point is that they're having their festival, which is their annual festival for the installation of the day, or the arrival of the deity here, the opening of the temple kind of officially, not quite sure what the word is, but they're having an annual festival which draws devotees from around and about. And I believe Tungarasa, who is with us on Facebook today, she'll be coming here soon. And Jayadev's other half means Chintamani Devidasi, I happily heard, is also on her way here too. So looking forward to a festival. And I think that I heard yesterday evening they're doing the logistics of how to not only have devotees come, but how to have sleeping arrangement for 27 devotees in the ashram next weekend. So good, it's a festival time. All right, dear devotees, and Sudevi, Sudevi is no longer with us, but our appreciation to Sudevi for her question to get us talking about this important topic of how to navigate pratiṣṭhā. And may we always keep our feet on the ground and understand everything is coming from Gurudev. It is his property, it is their property. And dear devotees, We appreciate having the company of you all because you are their property also. Jai Srila Gurudev, Om Vishnu Pad, Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Srila Guru Maharaj, Om Vishnu Pad, Srila Bhakti Rock of Srila Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. And Jai Srila Prabhupada, Srila A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai. Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki Jai. Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, we mentioned Navadip Down Mahatmya today. So Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki Jai. Sri Rupa Nuga Guru Bhagavad ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki Jai. The present day Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Acharya Vrinda ki Jai. All the assembled devotees ki Jai. And to Jivana Devidasi, to Paramananda, to all the devotees here, to our senior devotees, headed by our senior devotees ki Jai. Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai. And to Jagamohini and all the devotees online, Madhava Prabhu, Mathur Vasini, Nadia Priya, and all the team in Govindaland. And Tungarasa Devidasi, whom I can see on Facebook because he sent messages. Then our obeisances to all of you, wishing you a successful week in the Seva, and we'll meet you again, well, in 3 days' time, it seems. So, wishing you successful life in Seva, and looking forward to being with you in 3 days. And Deva Priya, special mention, good to have you with us just nearby there with Jivana Devidasi, and our obeisances to each of you. Rukmini didn't somehow I missed giving specific acknowledgement to you, Rukmini Devidasi with us, Gangalila Devidasi. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha, Kripasindhuvya evacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo, Namo Namo. Dandavati devotees.
Jai Srila Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudan Maharaj ki Jai.
Ashji, Vrindavaneshri, get a good night's rest, Vrindavaneshri.
Thank you so much, Maharaj.
Midnight, and Dana sending her heart, Lucas sending heart, yes, to each of you. Obeisances, Paramananda, all much appreciated. Jai Guru.
Jai Hare Krishna. Dhanavad. Very special, super, super special. Very good question. And thank you, Jivana Devi, because you, she's gone, and Paramananda Prabhu were great in answering. Thank you. Hare Krishna.